What's crack-a-lackin', y'all? This is Jay here from Will's VG Addiction with a little show and tell video and possibly a repair video, depending on what is in here and what's working. So let's go ahead and pop these packages open and see what we got. I think this one should be a Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES with some very excessive packaging. It could be completely wrong, but what is this? Huh. That's interesting. So I ordered a non-working, or I think it might have been untested, Super Mario 2 for the NES. This was $2 plus like $10 shipping or $8 shipping, some shit like that, which was excessive. But for some reason, there's a Mario 3 in here too. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that listing because I swear it was just the one game, which I won again at $2, but it was kind of excessive on the shipping. And it's not like I need either of these games, or this one anyway, but I just wanted to kind of get an NES game to work on and see if I could fix it. But that's pretty cool. That's a nice little surprise there. Not bad for 12 bucks. All right. That is what is up. So again, I am pretty sure, and there's no packing slip in here, so there's no address on there. That's fine. You can see the name. That's fine. Yeah, there's no packing slip in there, so I don't know if that was accidental or I don't know what's going on there. But these two packages here are from the great land of Japan, which is where I order all the stuff for my collection these days, because American stuff bores me. All right, this I believe is a Super Famicom game. Or not super. I believe this is a regular Famicom game. Yes, it is. This is a complete copy of Insector X for the Famicom. I've been wanting this one for a hot minute. Finally found a complete copy on eBay for a price that I was willing to pay. And since we don't keep secrets here, we're all family. I think I paid like like $100 for this, which yes, it's a bit expensive, but this is an expensive game and it's kind of hard to find, especially complete. So it's in pretty solid condition. I've been seeing these go roughly for like 130 plus on eBay, and finally found one at about $100 if I recall correctly. This was some time ago that I ordered it, in good condition and complete, again for a price that I was willing to pay. So that's kind of nice. Insector X, it's a cute little shooter game. So if you haven't ever played it or seen it or checked it out, whatever, you should check it out. Now this, I believe, was untested. Oh, we don't want to see that. Is my address on there? That's all right. Fuck it. We'll blur that out. Yeah. Okay. So we'll cut that out. We don't want to see my address. So this, I believe, was listed as untested. Got a packing slip here. Blah, blah, blah. Nice little piece. So I already have one of these in the box, but I found this for a very solid price. And again, I don't know, untested or not working, who knows, but I think it was about $210 plus an extra $10 for shipping through FedEx. It is a Sega Mega Jet. So basically what this is like, it's in the same vein as a Sega Nomad except without the screen. It's a portable Sega Genesis system, and I believe, if I'm correct, that before the Nomad came out, this was something that was offered for flights back in the early 90s. You would hook this up to the screen on the plane and play your Mega Drive games. So again, I've got one of these that's working and it's complete in the box. I paid a nice sum for that, but this one was actually really, comparatively cheap as far as what they usually sell for. So I figured I'd pick it up for parts, and if it doesn't work, then it's a nice little repair project, and it's something that I don't think I've ever seen anybody work on before, so I figured, why not? So let's check it out and see if it actually works, and then we'll give those NES games a test drive. Alright folks, if you've never seen one of these before, it's your standard Model 2, Model 3, AC adapter, AV adapter. Nothing else special required. We've got our TV on. We've got it on the right channel. Got a mode button here, which is cool. Let's turn it on and see what happens. So maybe this actually does not work. Oh, that's the on button. That switch feels a little funny. It might be just the switch. Let me get another power adapter. Alright, so I've got an actual, that power adapter I was using was for the Model 3 that I've worked on recently. This is a actual Model 2 SA190 power adapter. And we get nothing. Yeah, there's a power light indicator there. And we get no power. So what I suspect is wrong with this thing is the AC adapter feels pretty loose. So that's one thing. Again, easy fix. Or possibly the switch. It doesn't feel, I don't know. I don't know what the right word for it is. It just doesn't feel very sturdy. It feels a little loose. So that's cool. We got a repair video and something that nobody else is doing right now. So it's not boring ass Super Famicom crap. So that's good. Let me pause and get my NES hooked up so we can see if these NES games work. So this is how we roll here at Wheels VG Addiction. We've got ourselves an AV Famicom, the superior AV Famicom with our AV hookup and an NES cart connector. Don't waste your time on that shitty ass NES top loader. It's garbage. Alright, so we're gonna work with Super Mario Brothers 2 first. Ooh, it's tight. Let's see what happens. Slide that down. Okay, so that works. No problems. Let's try Super Mario 3. It seems to be a throw-in. And then we got Super Mario 3, and that works. So, I guess, well, yeah. I guess this is going to be a Mega Drive, Mega Jet repair video. Alright, folks, we are back with the Sega Mega Drive, Mega Jet. So again, I've never opened one of these before, but we're going to do it together. Try to keep all my screws organized for the day. Alright, folks. Here's that magic time, opening this up for the first time. Does this come off? Indeed it does. Okay, so trying to make sure I understand exactly how this comes apart as I'm taking it apart, because I've never taken one of these apart before, and I've never seen one of these taken apart. Well, maybe. This thing does not want to come apart, and I don't want to force it. I did get all the screws out, yeah? Okay, so this part will pop off first. The cart connector is connected by 2 ribbon cables. And it looks like this does have to come out somehow. It's going to be a pain in the ass. Maybe I can just angle it a certain way. It seats on 2 plastic tabs there. I think I can pull these ribbon cables out. Yeah. Make sure I do this in a way that's not going to damage it. Ugh, I feel so uncomfortable doing this. Oh, this is a shit design. Okay, there we go. So we've loosened this up. I think we can just pull these 2 cables out there. Good Lord. What a shit design. I don't like it. So this looks pretty straightforward, I think. What I'm going to be focusing on is this area here. What I noticed is the switch. It was okay now, but felt very, I don't know, just off is the best way I can explain it. And then we're going to take a look at the power adapter as well. Just make sure all is good there. So let's take this board out. I gotta make a note. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws all on this side of the board. Does that make sense? So all the screw holes have this little gold trim around it. There's trim around this one, but there's no screw there. So pop that switch out, pop that button out, and should be able to just pull this thing out, unless I'm missing one somewhere, which I am. Alright, we'll place that aside so we don't knock the buttons around and lose those, but this is what the front of the board looks like. Pull that button off. I don't see anything that stands out. That power adapter doesn't look bad. Everything looks clean. I don't see any capacitor issues. I am going to take a break though. I'm going to take a look at this thing under the microscope real quick just to make sure I'm not missing anything, and then we'll come back. Well, we are back, folks. So kind of annoyingly, I don't see any issues with the power adapter. Everything looks good. It tests fine, continuity wise, all that good stuff. I don't think that's the problem. All the caps seem to look good, but who even knows? So I'm going to do the dum-dum. I'm just going to go ahead and reflow the solder joints around the power jack and see if that fixes anything. I don't think it will, but then we'll have to start looking at recapping this and maybe doing some more testing. But just looking at it, I don't see why this thing wouldn't power on. And you know what it might be, actually, because I did talk about the switch not feeling quite right. Feels okay now. I wonder if it was actually the switch, or if it is actually. Let's find out. Let's see if this thing powers on. No. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to look at, I'm just going to go ahead and reflow the joints around the switch, and then I'm gonna use some cleaning solution, some contact cleaner, basically, to see if I can't clean that switch out, move it up, back and forth. Maybe it's not making contact like it should. I don't know. I'm trying not to use my brain as much as possible, and then if that doesn't work, then I'll go ahead and use my brain. It's like 1:30 in the morning right now, and I'm just not in the mood. Alright, so we'll clean that area up, clean the flux and stuff off of there real quick, and then we'll spray the switch, the actual switch, down with some contact cleaner and then some alcohol afterwards, just for sanity's sake. We've got this WD-40 electrical contact cleaner. It's alright, I guess. I don't rave about it, it's just alright. So we'll spray it in there as much as possible. And move the switch up and back a bunch of times to try to loosen up any corrosion that may be in there, any dirt. And then we'll do it again. And again, just another little bit of sanity alcohol. Make sure and I guess what I could have done is I could have tested to see if it was making contact by flipping the switch on and off and using my freaking multimeter, which guess what we're not going to do because I don't, this is going to be faster. I'll do it after if this doesn't work, and I don't expect it to work, so I probably will do it just to be sure we're getting the contact we need. So we'll plug our power source in. No. Nothing. Okay. Fair enough. So, fuck. Being that it is 1:30 in the morning or so, I'm probably not going to finish this tonight. I'm just going to do a couple of quick tests, and then we will see what happens. And I'll sleep on it. So I think the middle one, I want to say the middle one is probably ground. This is off. Then it should be on. So we don't get the contact there. That's good, I guess. Alright, so we are getting it. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, what else could be the problem? Let's plug it in and see if we're getting any voltage. Alright, so down position is on as it should be. We've got, let's see. $16 volts coming in. So it's going up, it's 4.7. It should, yeah, I would think that'd be enough. Maybe there is a bad cap in there somewhere. Or two. Alright. Well, again, before I fix it until it's broken, I'm going to leave it alone for the night and just think something I'm sure will come to mind. Or I'll look at something that I'm seeing right now that might be standing out that I just can't see for whatever reason. So we'll leave it for the night and check back in tomorrow. Okay, folks, we are back. So I have the luxury of having a second Mega Jet. This is my personal. This is from my personal collection. I was a little hesitant to open it up, but I needed to get readings off the board, so that's what I had to do. I've determined the reason this thing did not power on was there is a fuse that was blown here, and because I am self-admittedly an idiot. Let's see if I can get this to focus a little bit better. I didn't know what the hell that was. I didn't know what that component was, but I mean, it makes sense. C, capacitor, R, resistor, F for fuse, right? So I had to test on the working board, and when I got to this, as I was testing everything in this power rail, or this power line, because nothing else was getting voltage, so I just went from here and started testing all this stuff in this area, and I got to here, and this component on the non-working board did not have continuity when using a multimeter. On this one, the working one, it did. So I'm like, okay, well, what component does that? Normally it's a fuse, and then it says F0560, so it's got to be a fuse, right? So just to kind of prove my theory, and this is unbelievably crude, I grabbed a 125 volts 125 volts 1.5 amp fuse. Normally I use these in Super Nintendo or Super Famicom to replace a blown fuse. I soldered it in and it fucking works. It's gonna be a little tricky. So this is my working board, right? Let's put it down here so we don't short it out on anything. Turn it on, LED comes on, you know it powers on, right? Let's go to this board here, if I can finagle this. Try not to drop anything. It's hard to do this with one hand. Okay, so we got what was a non-working board in that. And I don't know how safe it is to keep this fuse on here because I'm not really all that intelligent when it comes to ratings of fuses and all that, but turn it on and the light comes on. So I'm still trying to do some research and figure out if this fuse will work, because the other fuse, it just has a 25 on there. I'm assuming that means 25 volts. I'm not really sure. I'm really not, and I can't find any sort of documentation or schematics or anything for the Mega Jet. And I tried looking at Sega Nomad and in a Model 2, and they're all like extremely different. So I'm gonna roll with this for right now. I'm obviously not gonna keep it like this. This looks fucking stupid. So I'm gonna cut this down if I can. So I'm gonna cut this down and lower the profile, and probably put some Captain tape around it so it doesn't touch anything or short out on anything. But there's a spot right here, a large open spot, where I have plenty of clearance for that. So I'm gonna do that until I can find a suitable service mount replacement for this. If this continues to work and doesn't give me any problems, I'm gonna do plenty of testing on this just to make sure nothing blows out or the fuse doesn't die on me or whatever. And then I'm going to try to find a similarly rated surface mount fuse so I can actually make it look a little bit more factory than it is now. But I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm going to go ahead and lower the profile of this so it doesn't look fucking stupid. This was just for testing purposes, but I'll do that, and then I'll start the video up again, and then we'll actually test to see if everything works out fine and see how it looks on the screen. Alright folks, this is where we are at right now. I've got Captain tape wrapping the fuse, and that's just a safety precaution. I don't think I'll need that, and it's only temporary anyway until I can get a suitable surface mount fuse. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, put this thing back together, and we're going to test it out, make sure everything's good to go. Alright, so I learned a little bit of a lesson as far as putting this thing back together while putting my own back together. It's kind of tricky as far as making sure these buttons are in place like they need to be. So this shouldn't take too long because I just did my own, and I think I've got a good wrap on it, a good handle on it. Got all my parts here. So first thing we'll do, take a couple of these screws, these copper colored screws, and just make sure we have a couple secure points. hopefully everything I'm doing is actually being seen on camera, because I have a really big problem with stuff that I'm working on being either too zoomed in or completely out of the viewfinder. Just until I get a better setup, which I don't think I will, because I put enough money into this crap and nobody watches it anyway, so that's going to have to work for now. So let me just put this one back in, and then I'll flip it around, just make sure all the buttons are as tacky as they need to be. And one thing I noticed on this was the actual front from my personal one, which I just got like a month ago or so. There's like a glob of glue and some crud in here, so I went and switched the front plate off. This is the one I'm going to get rid of eventually. It looks like maybe somebody spilled something on there, or I don't know if that's glue or what. It looks like probably glue. Anyway, there's some damage there. I didn't even notice that when I got mine in. It's been in the box for a hot minute. I just tested it when I initially got it, and I didn't even notice that. So how's that for being fucking oblivious? Alright, so all these little copper holes right here, they all have a white arrow. That's where you put the screws in, so you don't get confused, I guess. It's not that many. So all in all, this one wasn't too bad. And then the power switch has a little open indent here. That's going to go on the top as you're placing this in here. You can place it on it like that and just make sure it's good to go. And then the mode button on the other one was a little tricky too, because it didn't seem like it's kind of shoddily made. Well, this one actually feels a lot better than mine. Interesting. Mine's not as tacky. It doesn't seem like it wants to press the same way. Anyway, that should be good to go. We'll grab our back piece with our cart connector, and you know what? Let me look at this underneath the microscope and just make sure it's clean before I put it back together. That looks pretty good. I'm sure this thing hasn't gotten a whole lot of use. I'm just going to spray it down with a little alcohol and scrub it with the toothbrush real quick. Sorry, I'm slurring my speech. It's like, as usual, late as fuck at night. And I'm fucking tired, and I have a headache. I had a headache all day. So yes, my speech is slurred like a fucking drunk, or like somebody who just doesn't know how to speak. Alright, so from here we got the back piece on. Make sure our buttons are where they need to be one more time. And then we'll put 2 screws in just to kind of secure the back. And then we'll work that cart connector back in. So these 2 here, just to make it. This is actually pretty simple, putting this thing back together again. This is probably the worst part, is putting this cart connector back in. Trying to balance these ribbon cables and not like bend them or damage them is kind of a pain in the ass, just a little bit, but it's not too bad, I guess. Just make sure that they're both in there evenly, and then try to press down evenly if you can. Again, it's kind of difficult because there's not a whole lot of clearance space for your hands. Oh shit, and I fucked that one up. God damn it. No bueno. I bent the pins too. God damn it. That's not good. That's alright. Hopefully that's not unfixable. I didn't do that the first time. Go figure. On camera and it happens. Fucking shit. If I fuck that up, those are not easy ribbon cables to find. I don't think those will be easily replaceable. So let's try that again. There we go. There we go. Should be good. Alright, fuck. And then we'll kind of maneuver this thing. There's a couple of little plastic rests. You can see that. Sorry, I know the lighting sucks, but a couple of plastic rests there. We'll just kind of maneuver this so that it lines up and seats right there. And that was harder to get out than it is to put back in. So once we have that on, We'll take our back piece here. We'll place that on. Oh, this thing is making an asshole out of me. Oh, the last one did not give me this kind of trouble. Get your ass in there. What in the world? Let's see. Where am I fucking this up? Okay, so I guess I might as well show you what I was doing. The last one I did, the other one I did, didn't have this sort of problem, but these grooves right here, they have to line up directly with the cart slot or cart connector. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to show you what I'm doing, especially with no light. But just kind of look in there, make sure the screw hole part is on the bottom. And those little grooves are lined up, and then mush it down, and you're good to go. So I'm going to take one screw, these small black screws, and put it down here to secure this, and then we have to put the two longer screws, these, inside the cart slot right here, and screw that down. Which is pretty easy normally, but I'm trying to do this so you all can see what's kind of a pain. As is everything that I try to do when you all need to see it. Alright, so that one's in. That one's in. And you know what would be smart is actually testing this out at this point before I go any further, so let's do that now. Just make sure it's not going to give me any further problems. So we've got our AV cord. I swear to God, nothing seems like it wants to work right now. Alright, AV cord is in. Power adapter is in. We're going to switch over to the TV real quick. So wait for this fucker to turn on. We got our Mega Drive game. We got Tatsujin, one of the greats. I'm going to pop that in. We're going to power it on. And we are good to go. We've got magic. That's beautiful. I'm pleased. Trying to do this with one hand. This game is hard enough as it is, but anyway, you get the point. We got a working Sega Mega. Anyway, you've got the point. We got a working Sega Mega Jet that wasn't working before. I'm going to do some further testing, but not too much. I really do want to get a proper fuse for this, just so nothing blows out. Again, I'm kind of an idiot, so I don't really know that this is going to last. I don't want to keep it there. Anyway, hopefully if you watch this, maybe it helps you in some way. There's no documentation that I can find for this fucking thing, and I think there was one guy who did a repair of some sort. I don't recall what it was, but couldn't find much for the Sega Mega Jet. Anyway, I hope this was interesting. Thanks for watching. Peace out. See you next time. Actually, you know what would be nice if we finish putting this fucking thing together. Before I get well ahead of myself. We still got some pieces here. Alright. My bad. So you've got this little piece. I have no idea what this is here for. It's just for fucking decoration, I guess. We got our large head screw. Go ahead and screw that in. Getting well ahead of myself. I usually do that. Just excited to have this fucker working. And this is exactly why I don't try to do repairs. I said I think I said like 1:30 in the morning in the video when I started it yesterday or this morning. Well, early in, I think I said 1:30 in the morning when I started this video early. It was actually like 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's no wonder my brain wasn't working. I did a little bit of testing to figure out that it was the fucking fuse. But again, I had to get some damn sleep in order for my brain to take that in. So a lot of the stuff that I have that I fix, I try to offer it for discounted prices as much as possible. If anybody is interested in eBay links, I can leave those. I don't know if that's something that y'all are interested in at all. I am in a couple of Pac Northwest Facebook groups where I offer this stuff up. So if you are in the Pacific Northwest somewhere, look out for some of those Facebook groups. I don't want to say what they are just yet unless anybody's actually interested. But like I said, a lot of this stuff is going to be for sale at some point. And being that there's no Portland Retro Gaming Expo for the foreseeable future, and I am out of here in fucking 2023, early 2023, and I have no idea where I'll be leaving then, or living then, but I'm not trying to hoard this stuff for the next 4 or 5 years. I'm trying to get rid of it as soon as possible. So anyway, hit me up if you're interested in any of this stuff. Unfortunately, this Mega Jet is going to be a little bit expensive. I still paid a pretty penny for it, but just less than what it normally tends to sell for. So keep that in mind. Like stuff like Super Famicoms and Nintendo 64s, that stuff will be cheap, of course. But again, I got to get my money too. So, and I'm trying not to sell to other resellers, specifically because I want folks who have not had an opportunity to own this stuff in the past to actually be able to afford it if possible. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. I appreciate folks watching. Again, I hope if anybody is looking for information on this and can't find it like myself, hopefully this helps you. Maybe it helps folks in the future. It's always good to, you know, even if I don't have all the answers, to at least be able to provide. What in the world is this crap? Anyway, to at least provide some direction for folks. Like I said, I'm an idiot. I am by no means any sort of expert on this stuff. I'm a hobbyist at best, but I've been doing this for a hot minute. So, I mean, even when I throw my Hail Marys, every once in a while they'll connect. Anyway, it's been a long night. I'm going to bed. Thanks for watching.